Bet you can't guess what country we're in. Might be the greatest amount of Canadian flags in one place that I've ever seen. Actually, maybe even the greatest amount of flags in general. We are currently on the Trans-Canada Highway 17, driving across Ontario, headed towards central Ontario. There's a free campsite that I'm looking at that could possibly be pretty good for tonight. It looks like it's kind of in the middle of nowhere though, and my phone data is already not working. Like, I think that's just because we're too far away from the cities. It just doesn't work when you get that far away. So it could be a little bit of an adventure finding this place. So I've been driving all day today. I know it went by pretty fast for you guys, but for me it's definitely been a long day. I accidentally passed that exit. For some reason the data on my phone shut off. It automatically disabled roaming somehow, even though I didn't tell it to do that, and then it just shut off. I do have data here in Canada, so I was kind of surprised that it wasn't working for so long, and I just was able to fix it and get it to work, but it did make me miss that exit. I completely lost the navigation and I was just cruising along the highway. I had a feeling about where it was, but I also realized that it was like 200 kilometers out of the way to go to that campsite, and it was going to add a whole bunch of time and a bunch of gas costs, and obviously gas is like kind of tight right now. Like, I'm trying to be as smart as I can about it because it's so expensive here in Canada. So new plan, I'm just going to drive as far towards Ottawa as I can, maybe even get to Ottawa late tonight and just try to like stealth camp somewhere in Ottawa, explore there tomorrow. I really need to sit down at a coffee shop and do some work as well. I'm like really far behind on editing and stuff like that, so that's got to be a priority at some point in the next day or so. We'll see what happens, but just new plan, no more camping 200 kilometers out of the way. We are just going to keep heading east. Found this little picnic area here to make up some dinner. Just gonna make up the leftovers from the other night when we were camping in Michigan. I know I said I was gonna get rid of this pot, but I ended up just buying a new one. Even though it's a terrible pot, it's like the cheapest one available at Walmart, and I'm just gonna give it another try and hope to not cake on any rice this time. Take two, definitely a success. I guess it helps that I didn't have to make rice this time though. I was able just to pick out the non-burn rice from the other day and make it work. That could definitely end up being one of those meals that I make like over and over and over again for a while because I really do like it, but then get really sick of. It's so easy to make though, especially if you already have rice. Like, it's like the easiest thing, and it's so filling and delicious, and I think probably healthy. I'm a big fan. One thing I have noticed so far on the drive is that the speed limits seem really conservative so far. It's only about 90 kilometers an hour, which is about 55 miles an hour, and I'm trying to obey it as much as I can, and I don't really have a problem with it. Like, I drive really slow as it is, but I noticed that everyone else is driving a lot faster than that speed limit. I'm getting passed constantly, so I don't know if the speed limits are like just a suggestion or something like that, or what, but it seems like everyone goes a lot faster than the posted signs. So not quite the beautiful lakeside campsite that I was envisioning when I drove in yesterday, but definitely worked out okay. There were a bunch of RVs here. There's someone camped in that car directly right next to me, and it was a pretty nice little place to stay for the night. More efficient than going way out of the way to find a campsite. First adventure of the day. We are now on empty, which means we have to get gas for the first time here in Canada, which means that I need a calculator. So we got 3.8 liters per gallon. I need somewhere probably around 12 gallons of gas. Gas is $1.31 a liter here. That's 46 liters times $1.31, $59.73. Works for me. I've got $120 Canadian cash, so here's the first 60 of it going towards the gas here. By the way, those of you who like math like I do and are curious about what $60 Canadian is in US dollars, it's about $46 roughly in US dollars. So not the most amount of money to fill up my tank. I think I paid $40 at some point yesterday or the day before that in Michigan. So, you know, really not that much more than I was expecting. Definitely reasonable, and considering that it's so much of a shorter distance to get where I'm going, it just makes sense to go this way. This is the Sunset Park in North Bay, Ontario. I noticed it on the map and it looked like it was really pretty, and it sure is beautiful. I'm glad that I took the time to come check it out here. This has been an absolutely beautiful drive through Ontario. Ontario is a very big province. It's taking a long time. Canada's a huge country, but at the same time, the rolling farmlands and the beautiful lakes in the background, I mean, there's no denying that the Trans-Canada Highway is gorgeous, and one day, I'd really like to be able to take that highway all the way across Canada out west to Vancouver. I think that would be an awesome adventure. Just realized it is in fact the 4th of July today. It's Independence Day in the United States, so happy 4th to anyone out there who celebrates that, who's in the United States, which I think is most of you guys. For those of you in Canada, happy Canada Day. I know it's not technically the same day. I know it was a couple of days ago, Canada Day. It's really hard to say that. Canada Day. Canada Day. Happy Canada Day. I keep seeing the signs everywhere, so I know it was just a couple days ago. Kind of would have been cool to check that out. I would have loved to have seen what that was all about in person, but yeah, no one's celebrating the 4th of July here though, so it's kind of nice, you know, not too many people on the road, just cruising along here, but this is the first time I have ever not been in the United States for Independence Day. There's so much construction traffic on the highway, like I've been stopping constantly during the past few hours on the road. I'm exhausted, decided to pull off and take a quick break. I have a bunch of editing to do anyways, so I found this coffee shop here. It's a Tim Hortons. I've seen these everywhere, like there are 2 or 3 of them in like every small town that I've passed through. Like I can't even physically understand how it's possible that a small town of a few thousand people could support 2 or 3 of these coffee shops all like directly across the street from each other. Like it's absolutely crazy, but they're clearly very, very popular, very well known. I don't know anything about them. I mean, I've heard the name before, but I've never actually been into one, so we're gonna give it a try. Hopefully they let me get some work done. I'll get to get some coffee, try a few other things as well while I'm there. Alright, Tim Hortons was pretty solid. I feel bad for the cashier. She had absolutely no idea what I was talking about. Like, I asked for an iced coffee. That's like not even on the menu there, but she was able to do that without any problem. She was like, yeah, we could do that. And then, like, of course, the iced coffee, like, was white. Like, that was not the color grade. Like, it was actually like a white coffee. I don't know what was in there, if it was like milk or cream. Whatever it was really tasty, but it was different than I was expecting. And then when I tried to order the donut, like, she had no idea what I was talking about. I had to like repeat it like a bunch of different times, and then I just read it off the way that it's written. Apparently it's called like a dippy donut or something, like a dip, something with a dip in it or something, and I didn't say that. Like, I was asking for a chocolate frosted, and there was just like mass confusion. I mean, I feel really bad. She could definitely tell that I'm not Canadian, but overall it was really good, and the price was definitely right. It was like $2.50 Canadian to get all of that. I mean, the same price for a tall iced coffee at Starbucks is like $3 in United States dollars. I'm sure that's even higher here, maybe even like $4.50 or something like that here. So definitely a good deal. I'll probably go to another Tim Hortons before I head out of here by tomorrow afternoon. I am so happy that I took the time to explore here in Ottawa this evening. I had no idea what to expect. I mean, I knew that it was a big city, I knew that it was the capital of Canada, but even until I got here, I had completely forgotten that Canada had a parliament. Like, I had no idea what to expect going into it, but seeing the old parliament building and all the government buildings, they really are beautiful, awesome architecture, and then just walking around with the sun setting over the river, I mean, it made for a really picturesque evening. I completely lost track of time, like, haven't eaten anything. It's like 9 o'clock now, I still haven't had dinner. I'm absolutely starving. It's super hot outside. It's really, really uncomfortable to be walking around right now, but it doesn't matter. It was definitely worth it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna grab a much needed shower at this Planet Fitness here in Ottawa and then camp somewhere here tonight, try to get some rest. It's still super hot outside, so it's probably not gonna be the best night for sleeping, but just gonna do the best that I can and then continue on the trip tomorrow. I'm realizing this vlog is getting pretty long though, so I'm gonna end it here and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow morning. I'll talk to y'all in the next video.